All right, let's jump right into this explainer and tackle a massive beauty myth, the idea that gel polish is out to destroy your nails. If you've spent any time on beauty forums or, just talking to friends about manicures, you've definitely heard the horror stories. You might have even blamed the bottle yourself. But today, we are going to look at the actual science and structure of nail health to figure out what is really going on beneath that shiny top coat. Take a look down at your own hands for a second. If you've ever suffered from thin, bendy, or papery nails after a manicure, you've probably asked yourself this exact question. You see the damage, and boom, you immediately blame the product. I mean, it seems perfectly logical, right? The polish was on your nails, now your nails are wrecked, so the polish must be the culprit. Well, here is the plot twist. The cured gel on your nail plate is actually chemically inert. In fact, it acts like a protective little suit of armor for your natural nail. The gel itself, not doing the damage. It is our own impatience during the removal process that's the true villain here. This damage happens in literally minutes, and it's completely preventable. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The gel polish myth. 2. The true nail villains. 3. Reading your nail damage. 4. The UV lamp question. 5. The healthy gel playbook. And finally, 6. The nail recovery timeline. Section 1. The gel polish myth. Gel is the villain. Biologically speaking, nails are made of dead keratin. They do not have lungs and they absolutely do not breathe. Cured gel polish is simply a stable film that bonds to that dead keratin. It's not seeping into your bloodstream, and it definitely doesn't weaken the structure just by sitting there. And there is a massive disconnect here between perception and reality. We tend to think that the gel's chemistry and quote-unquote suffocation are what ruin our nails. But in reality, it's the physical, mechanical, human behaviors, like impatient peeling, scraping, and improper aftercare that actually do the damage. We blame the formula in the bottle, but the damage is almost entirely caused by how we treat our hands when we decide we want that polish off. Section 2. The true nail villains. Impatience and force. So if the gel isn't doing the harm, let's expose the real culprits. There are 3 specific behaviors responsible for pretty much every white-patched, peeling, or weak nail that ends up getting blamed on gel polish. Forced removal is the absolute worst offender. Then you've got overfiling, usually from a rush salon using an e-file like a power tool on layers of the nail you desperately needed to keep. And finally, dehydration neglect. Acetone strips moisture and lipids right out of your nail. If you skip rehydrating with oil afterward, your nails are going to become temporarily brittle. To really wrap your head around why forced removal is so bad, think of this analogy. Gel polish is engineered to adhere tightly to the top layers of your nail's keratin. So when you get a lifting edge and impatiently decide to just peel or pick it off, that gel doesn't politely release. It violently takes those bonded keratin layers with it, exactly like tape pulling paint off a wall. That incredibly satisfying sheet of polish you just pulled off, yeah, a good chunk of that is actually your own nail plate. Section 3. Reading your nail damage diagnostics. All right, let's play nail detective for a minute. By matching what you see on your hands to these symptoms, you can pinpoint exactly what went wrong during removal. Got white patches and rough spots? That's mild keratin trauma from peeling. Are the tips flaking? That's mechanical stress mixed with dehydration. Now, if your nails feel bendy, soft, and papery, you've either lost multiple layers of keratin to forced removal or they are severely dehydrated from the acetone. And what about horizontal grooves or dents? Those are physical injuries, usually from a heavy-handed technician really digging in with a metal pusher. Now, if you're panicking right now, take a deep breath and remember this number, 4 to 6. That is how many months it takes for your fingernail to completely replace itself from the cuticle all the way out to the free edge. The incredibly reassuring news here is that while the nail plate itself can't heal, it absolutely replaces itself. This damage is just a temporary setback, never a permanent life sentence. As long as the matrix, that's the growth center under your skin, isn't damaged, your body is manufacturing perfectly healthy nails right now. Section 4. The UV lamp question. Science versus fear. Let's tackle the elephant in the room. UV curing lamps. Are these devices actually dangerous to your health? Well, the science shows a real but very minor risk. Yes, the lamps emit UVA light to activate the gel's photoinitiators. And yes, there was a viral lab study that showed DNA damage in cells. But context is everything here. That scary study used extreme, continuous 20-minute direct exposures on cells in a petri dish. In the real world, dermatology data shows that documented skin cancers linked to these manicures are incredibly rare. The actual clinical risk is really small. It's comparable to the incidental sun exposure you get just walking to your car on a sunny day. Even better, You could almost entirely neutralize this already small UVA risk with a $10 solution. Dermatologists recommend simply applying a broad-spectrum SPF 30-plus sunscreen to your hands about 20 minutes before curing. Or you can just grab a pair of fingerless UV protective gloves that only expose the nail plate itself. It's a ridiculously simple, empowering habit that blocks the vast majority of skin exposure while letting you keep your manicure routine exactly as it is. Section 5. The Healthy Gel Playbook. Safe removal. Now that we've busted the chemical myths and UV fears, let's get into the practical side of things. Here are the exact steps you need to safely soak off gel, whether you're at home or in the salon, without losing a single layer of keratin. First, lightly file just the shiny top coat seal to remove the shine. Never file down to the natural nail. Second, soak a cotton ball in acetone, pop it on the nail, and wrap it in foil for 10 to 15 minutes. Third, when you take that foil off, the softened gel should gently slide off with absolutely zero force. Let the chemistry do the heavy lifting. And step 4 is crucial. If there are stubborn, resistant spots, do not scrape harder. Just rewrap them for 5 more minutes. We like to call this the resistance rule. If the gel pushes back, give it more time. Never, ever give it more force. I promise you, applying this one single rule consistently will eliminate the vast majority of gel-related nail damage in the world. Unhurried, patient removal is your absolute best defense. Section 6. The Nail Recovery Timeline. Restoring Health. But hey, what if it's already too late for prevention? If you're currently staring at ruined, bendy nails from past rushed removals, here is your definitive science-backed recovery playbook. And notice how quickly you can start seeing results. For days 1 to 3, your goal is rehydration. Flood your nails with the jojoba-based cuticle oil twice a day, because a lot of that post-gel weakness is actually just intense acetone dehydration that reverses in days. For weeks 1 to 4, you reinforce. Keep them short so they don't snag, maybe use a keratin strengthener, and absolutely wear gloves when you're doing wet chores. Finally, for months 1 to 6, just let it grow out. Support your body's keratin factory with good protein while that damaged plate is entirely replaced by fresh, healthy nail. And if you take exactly one habit away from this, whether you wear gel or not, it should be this. Cuticle oil applied daily is the absolute cheapest insurance in nail care. The data actually shows that wearers who massage oil into their nails daily and remove their polish properly have natural nail health that is essentially indistinguishable from people who never wear gel polish at all. To bring it all together, just remember this core philosophy. Gel polish isn't some monster hiding in a little glass bottle. It is really just a highly stable polymer tool engineered to give you 3 weeks of perfect, unchipped color. Tools do not ruin nails. Misuse of those tools does. So the choice is completely in your hands, literally. The next time you get a lifting edge, are you going to let impatience ruin your manicure, or are you ready to use the playbook? Treat your nails like a canvas to protect, not a wall to tear down, and you can enjoy pristine manicures safely for years to come.